on the dollar, and that will be extremely bullish for gold. So if you could tell me, because I can't see the future, but if you could tell me, Pete, I saw the future in the next 12 to 18 months, the U.S. dollar index was 79 point something or less, I'm going to suggest that we're towards 875 on gold.
All right, so for small cap investors out there right now who might have been a little rattled last week, what do you think is the best way for them to leverage the future of a bullish gold market? Should they be buying the actual bullion itself? Should they be looking at small cap gold exploration companies? And I know you do some work for some of these companies, and you've always fully disclosed that. And in fact, a lot of times you've acted contrary to their interest. So when you make these market cap, these calls at the top of 750 and 350 copper, in fact, it hasn't always made your clients happy, but you've always served the investment community first. So based on that, what do you think some small cap investors should be doing? What should they be looking at right now?
Well, I appreciate that, George, because it is true. I've spoken out against companies that are clients of ours. They weren't clients after I've spoken out, but I do still say what I feel, no matter what everybody's working for them. I think people have to realize that owning bullion's an investment. Owning mining junior resource stocks is gambling. Now, they use the word speculation, but speculation is a fancy financial market word for gambling. And when you gamble, whether it's at the casino down here a couple hours away or anywhere, you have to be prepared to lose part of all your capital.
Sure.
So must be the same for junior resource. And that always shows me that in these type of corrections, when people get very concerned, too many people are gambling and aren't prepared to gamble. So if you are prepared to lose part of all your capital, I do think the junior resource market still has a way to go. Now, with an asterisk, uranium, still think the price is going to go up a lot. But I think we're past the halfway point on the bull market, and what will take place now going forward is you're going to need to show that you really have production capability as a uranium company versus just you're in the uranium area to really go forward from this point on. And the separation you're going to get is because it's going to become institutionalized. And institutions don't play usually grassroots. They're going to look for upside, potential earnings, ability to sell this project, etc. So the separation from the men from the boys is going to take place in the uranium junior market. I think one market that I'd rather own gold and silver than base metals at this point, but I think a metal that has not gotten attention at all, and I think it's going to have its day in the sun, is cobalt. Very hard to play that, very rare that there's pure plays in it. There's actually one in North America, a bias, they're a client of mine. I own the stock called Formation Capital.
Right.
But outside of that, I still think precious metals are going to outperform base metals, simply because I think the world is slowing down economically. China's not going to fall off the cliff. India's not going to fall off the cliff. The United States is. But there's going to be a general slowdown. And with that, you'd rather have precious metals. Doesn't mean you sell all your base metals. You just overweight yourself in precious metals versus base metals.
And it's funny that you talk like that about the U.S. economy, given the fact that, in fact, you're a U.S. resident. You're a U.S. citizen living right in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, don't hold that against me, but somebody had to live there. But, yeah, I'm a great believer that the simple way I like to describe it, everybody, America's been robbing Peter to pay Paul, and Peter's tapped out. We're a country that's living way beyond its means as a society. We have a lot of stuff. We own very little of it, and we have no plan what to do if something goes wrong. And that's the status that even our chairman Bernanke testified for Congress this past week, that we have a lot of economic issues that we're not addressing.
Especially, what do you think about the real estate? Is the real estate market still on the way down? Is that going to cause a major problem in the U.S. economy?
We're only seeing the beginning of the unwinding. The real thing that's kept together the residential home, and that is employment. And if and when employment starts to teeter and we start to get to 5 or 6 or 7%, then the jumping from homes and speculating on homes dies too. So I only think we're in the third inning of the correction in the housing market.
All right. Well, let's switch gears for a minute here, because I know you've got some other outside interests. You don't get a chance to speak about them very much, but it's something that investors and the investment community probably would like to know about. You actually do some great work with athletes out of the U.S. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing there?
Well, yeah, actually, yes. I do have another business. It's called Trinity Financial Sports and Entertainment Management. We're a Christian-based financial advisory company that specializes dealing with professional athletes. Personally, I also do the Bible study and chapel services for the New York Giants and the New York Yankees. And since you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, I'm going to work on your healing over this next year so that when the season starts, you can finally root for a real team.
Well, I think that's another indication. The reason I wanted to bring that up, Peter, is I want people to know that there are, in fact, professional athletes out there who entrust you and your firm with managing their finances. So that's just another level in your credibility. Aside from the fact that you're the market whiz kid and you called the tops in the Dow in 1987, you've called the tops now in gold and copper and so on and so forth. I think it just adds to that. And investors watching this can put even more credence to what you've had to say. For those of you who are new to the mining investment business, Peter Grandich can be found at www.grandich.com. For those of you who've been in this business and investing in this industry for years now, Peter needs no introduction. I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You always shed some great light on investment factors, especially in critical weeks like this.
And I really want to just say something very serious here. You know, there's a lot of groups that try to claim to help investors through public dissemination of news and all. No one can come close to what your organization is doing now on an extremely professional level. And people need to know that, not because this camera is running. You are a real professional in an area of an industry that really needs it. So I have to tell you something. That's the reason besides trying to save you from being a Dallas Cowboy fan, seriously, I think the public needs to know Agora is just doing a job that needs to be done and hasn't been done in this industry, and I'm glad to see you here.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. Together, we'll be able to give investors the information they want. They can do what they want with it, but they'll always walk away knowing they're fully informed, and they can make their most informed investment decision possible. This has been George Tsiolis from the floor of PDAC 2007, right in front of the Agoracom booth. You can find this interview on YouTube at Agoracom IR. Thank you very much, and have a great day.